Why should men commit to you when you'll just get old and wrinkly? No, really, think about it. Why should men commit to any woman when that woman will just get old and wrinkly? Of course, this isn't meant to be depressing, and this is certainly not to encourage you to get Botox. But I think this is a serious question that you may even have asked yourself in the past. Now, I'm not saying that you are not enough. I'm not saying that you won't be enough in the future, because deep down inside, you are always enough. I would never question that. But in this video, I want you to start seeing relationships from a completely different perspective, to hopefully add some insights and value to you. So let's get started. Hey, it's Shen here, the founder of Commitment Triggers and Shen Media, where we teach you how to show up as a high-value, high-status woman whom easily inspires a deep sense of emotional commitment from men. Now, if you've ever had the unfortunate chance of stumbling across a male-dominated, women-bashing forum in the dark corners of the interwebs, you'd find men of different backgrounds not just complaining about women, but blaming women and spewing their toxic resentment for women all over these forums. And inevitably, these men come to the conclusion that relationships are a scam. Women are evil because they just want to take and take and take until you have nothing left. I mean, some of them even rationalize that hiring prostitutes regularly would be cheaper in the long run than having a real girlfriend or wife. I mean, really, think about that. Think about what kind of life experiences this type of person had to have gone through in order to believe that, right? That's how little they perceive value from actually relating to women. I mean, mostly I'd imagine because they've habitually had negative interactions with women. So take a moment to really think about the mentality of these men and really appreciate where they are actually coming from, even when these thoughts are so toxic. I mean, that doesn't mean that I agree with what they're saying, but I really want you to appreciate where they're coming from. I mean, there's always value in trying to understand those whom you despise the most. I mean, that's where you're going to realize your biggest insights, your biggest awareness and breakthroughs. What kind of pain and what kind of suffering they must have gone through in order to not just think of it, but to believe it so much as to write it publicly on the internet. Now, I'm sure there is a similar dark corner of the web where women talk about men in the same light, so this is certainly not one-sided. And also to add to these existing toxic beliefs, men know intuitively that a woman's looks will fade over time. No matter how beautiful a woman is, she'll get old one day, she'll get wrinkly. It's scary probably. Now, I know it's scary as a woman to know that and feel that. I can completely understand, especially in this day and age where the process of aging is marketed as this evil force rather than a beautiful and natural progression of life. You may have even asked yourself the question of what would ever inspire a man to want to stay with me long term when I'm just gonna get old and there are other endless possibilities where there's always someone younger, fresher, and new. Let me tell you exactly what would inspire a man to stay with you long term. It's your radiance and your energy. Your radiance and your energy. I mean, for a man to fall in love with a woman, it's because he falls in love with her radiance and her energy. For a man to want to be with you long term, it's because of your radiance. It's the radiance and the energy that you bring to the table. It's not your amazing ability to get things done. I mean, it's not your skills in the kitchen or the bedroom. It's not your business skills even. It's your energy and your radiance. Now, I know this can sound a little esoteric sometimes, so let me put it this way. For a man to invest in you emotionally for the long run, he needs to feel that the value of your radiance and your energy will increase over time. An investment that goes up in value would make a decent investment, right? And an investment obviously that decreases in value would make it a bad investment. That's obvious. In other words, you want to become a woman whom increases in your value over time. You want to be a woman that appreciates in value over time. I mean, no matter how much we try to block it out, we all know that a woman's physical looks will fade. It is absolutely inevitable. But the good news is, physical looks doesn't equal to radiance. And the truth is, a man doesn't see your looks as much as he feels your radiance anyway. I'll say that again. A man doesn't see your looks as much as he feels your radiance anyway. So don't worry. I mean, a woman of any age can be radiant beyond words. And there's plenty of older women that are way more radiant than some of the younger counterparts. So the question is, how do you appreciate in value over time? Well, First of all, start treating yourself as an investment rather than a body and a mind to exploit. I'll give you an example. I used to know a young woman who used to drink vodka on the couch on the weekends until she didn't know what day of the week it was. I've got nothing against drinking, but if you keep doing it over and over as a mechanism to escape, then you might want to look for better answers. Because by abusing her body, that young woman was taking value from her body over and over and over. Not to mention also taking value from her mental and emotional well-being. It's like withdrawing funds from a bank account that has only limited funds. Eventually, you're going to run out of money and then it's too late. So instead of always withdrawing, you want to make more deposits than withdrawals. And also, by the way, not all abuse comes from alcohol, and not all abuse is physical either, right? A lot of the time, we emotionally abuse ourselves. We emotionally take from ourselves. We create addictions for ourselves as a way to escape. In that process, take value from ourselves without really even thinking about it. See, adding value to yourself isn't always the most intuitive thing to do. It takes a little bit of long-term vision rather than short-term pleasure. And sometimes it takes discipline, but you need to do it in order to grow in value as a woman and as an individual. And you may not notice any changes overnight, but this small change, this small decision will leave you in a totally different place months and years from now. So get yourself into the habit of adding value to yourself. Now, I really want you to think of it this way. I want you to become a woman that appreciates in value over time. And what's the first thing you can do to make sure that you appreciate in value over time? Start appreciating. Literally, really start appreciating. Maybe that's why the word appreciate actually has these two specific meanings. What you appreciate appreciates in value. When you perceive and appreciate the value in your life, then you'll have more value within yourself to offer others. When you appreciate your own radiance, it grows. That's right, when you appreciate your own radiance, it grows. Sometimes we don't even focus on appreciation until it's all lost or gone. But the problem is, it's usually too late by then. So for now, imagine for a moment, you have nothing, okay? Just imagine this, no radiance, no looks, no money, no family, no friends, no way to communicate, and no health. How would life feel? Now come back and tell me, how much do you have in your life right now that you can truly be appreciative of right now in this moment? Even the smallest of things, right? Appreciate that your heart is beating for you right now and every other moment of the day. Whether you're happy or sad, it's there beating for you. Appreciate that your body keeps you warm even on the coldest of nights. Appreciate that you get to share this moment with the rest of the planet on this little floating rock called the Earth. And from that place of appreciation, there'll be more of you to give. From that place of appreciation, your energy will become irresistible. And guess what would actually happen if you started to appreciate men for all the stupid, crazy, unexplainable things that they do? Well, let me tell you what would happen. A whole new world will emerge for you because what you appreciate appreciates in value. Again, this doesn't mean that you need to stick around men who have negative and destructive behavior. You can still appreciate something that you don't want to be a part of. You can still appreciate something that you're far away from. And that appreciation will not only give you a deeper understanding of men, love, and relationships, it will also allow you to become a higher value woman now and forever. Now, let me tell you this, there will probably be nothing more difficult to appreciate in your life than to appreciate men. Why is that? Because they're the opposite of you. Because men don't intuitively think, feel, and behave like women. Because men aren't driven by the same forces as women. Because men have a totally different relationship timeline to women. Now, I would love to share with you more on the psychology and behaviors of men. It's a fascinating world that I believe will change your paradigm forever. If you're interested, I'm sure there's a link below somewhere where you can click and you can come on this journey with me to truly understand and master this area of men, love, and relationships. But for now, really start to appreciate all the small things, all the little things that you've been taking for granted. And leave me a comment below and share with all of us, what have you been taking for granted that you need to appreciate right now? And what habits will you take on in order to add value to yourself on a regular basis from now on? Alright, so go and do that. And of course, remember, what you appreciate appreciates in value. Alright, I'll talk to you very soon. There are two distinct traits of women that men routinely fall in love with, regardless of the woman's age. Now, I don't have to tell you that men and women are inherently different. No shit, Captain Obvious, but listen.